everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today is the day 5. So it's been 5 days that I've been reading this book, Atomic Habits, and I'm quite happy that I'm able to do it because I was procrastinating for like 1.5 months of reading this book. I kept this book nearby my eyes as well to read it, but I could not. So I thought, okay, there is a challenge would be only way to really read this book. So that's why I took this 30-day reading challenge, and I'm quite happy that I have started with the book The Atomic Habits, which is really awesome in terms of building habits. So yesterday's chapter was really fun. We understood a lot of great things that all the takeaways that I shared. I hope you like that. So it was all about making habits easy to perform, because it's really tough if a habit is really uh, tough to perform. Its chances are that we are not going to perform. So author says that we need to remove friction from our environment so that it's easy for us to develop a specific habit. So yeah, so with that note, let's go ahead and start reading from the chapter 13. But before that, I think there is a little bit overexposure I can see, maybe. Fine, okay. You're not reading from my book, at least here. So let's go ahead and read the chapter 13. Thank you so much. And all the social link handles will be on the right side of the screen that you see right now. So if you want to go ahead and follow me on other social media sites as well, you can go ahead and do that. Thank you so much. here is this awesome thing, because we think of habits in terms of like they are a vast term that we are doing something, we call it a habit. But the author says that this is not really the habit that what we are doing. So simply put is, suppose I want to develop I'm saying that I want to develop a reading habit, so that's why I'm making this 30-day reading challenge. But my habit is not that I'm reading for like 1 or 1.5 hour and saying all this thing what I have understood from the book and I'm doing this live. This is not what the habit is. He says that habit starts before than that. So basically habit is like something which will take you to bigger thing in your life. Like so let me here is an example of a lady called Twyla Tharp. So I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So what she did, she has some morning ritual. So in the morning ritual she used to get up and put in her workout clothes, and then she order a cab, and then she used to sit on that cab and go to the gym, and then there she used to work out for like 2 hours. Yeah, it's insane and crazy for every day. So we may think that okay, this is the habit, she's going to the gym and working out for like 2 hours every day. So we can think of it like a habit, but she says that this was not her habit. She says that the habit started only with the ritual. So her ritual was to get into her workout clothes and or just get into the cab. So if she done that, her habit is complete and also the ritual is complete. So she don't need to put out any kind of work to do the next thing, because the whole thing is automatic. So the moment she get into the cab, she directly go to the gym, so she has no option to like do anything else. She is in the gym, so she is going to work out. So it's not really tough for you to then do this thing, because it's really hard for us to just get started, because people just think about it, okay, we will get started someday. And I was also thinking about doing something like 3 or 4 months ago also, when I was reading a lot, but I didn't. So we think in our head that we will get started some day, but we don't actually. So we need to have a ritual which actually help us kickstart the habit. So here is a nice example which you can relate to, I think. So he says that okay, we think about like we will be using some social media sites, or maybe we will check our phone for like 2 minutes, but that 2 minutes goes to like 20 minutes or 2 hours maybe someday. So this is how our habits work. So it's not about like you're watching checking your social media for 2 hours. That is not your bad habit. Your bad habit is to take out the phone to check for 2 minutes without any reason, right? So this is the kind of habit that will take you to this kind of path. He says that whatever we perform is not really exactly the habit. It starts before than that. So the moment you take the decision that you will do something, because as a human being we keep making decisions or choices in our life. Even the moment we wake up, we make choices that whether to wake up or not even. So if you ask me to make this live streaming, I needed to make only one choice, that I have to wake up when my alarm goes off. So my alarm goes off in the 5:20 around. So if I make a choice of okay, let's just sleep, so otherwise I wouldn't be making this video, right? So I think as a human we need to make choices every time. So the moment you make choices, these choices will determine your day, or and the day will determine your month and your entire year and the lifetime. So this is how we do it. So here is a decisive moment graph as well. I hope you can see that here. Okay, so this is the decisive moments. I think the book is literally overexposed. Let me just fix this first and I will come back to it. And till then, you just listen to some music. Yeah, I think it's fine now. So this is the decisive moment. This is like a choices. The moment we make any good choice, it will take you to a good day, otherwise it will take you to a bad day, right? So if you make a bad choice, and then suppose the first choice was a bad choice, then you make a good choice and keep making good choices, then your day will be good. So it's like that, the more you make good choices, the better it is for you to make have a good day. So yeah, that's the thing. uh, Here is a very nice quote that I want to quote from the book. It's like, habits are the entry point, not the end point. The 2-minute rule. Okay. Okay, and he talked about the 2-minute rule, and before I do that, so he talk about 2-minute rule here, and 2-minute rule is fabulous. The moment I read it, I really can resonate with it. Okay, so he says that if we want to develop a particular habit, we need to make a easier version of it. I mean, not really easier, very easy version of it. So he's given some examples as well. Like, you want to write a book, so the hard thing will be for you to write 5,000 word article. Yeah, it's really hard. And the moderately hard will be like writing 1,000 words. And if you say that, okay, what will be the easy version of it, write one paragraph, that's very easy. And if you want a very easy thing, then it is write just one sentence. So if you want to write a book, just start with the habit of writing one sentence only, right? So you just need to make a pathway or a gateway to this habit. So the gateway to habit is to make very easy habits. Like, if a new habit is not really easy to perform, it's very hard to perform, then it is going to take a lot of your efforts and energy. And we as a human conserve energy, as you know that we yesterday also talk about it, and also read and talk about it, right? So as a human being, we are naturally going to save energy, and this will take us to procrastinate. We will not do this. He says that the habit must be established before it can be improved. We think that, okay, suppose I am exercising, I need to exercise this, I need to do this perfect push-up, I need to do 30 push-ups, I may need to start with like 50 push-ups, then it is working for my body. It's not like that, buddy. If you are making a habit stick, then you need to establish the habit first, then you can improve it, right? So he says that we need to develop the habit of just showing up It's not like how small it is. So you may ignore saying that, okay, what will happen if I just go for like 5 push-ups, or what will happen to my body if I go for like if I write one, or what will happen like if I write only one sentence, I will be an author or what. But he says that if you consistently do this, you will have a habit of showing up. So see, I'm giving you an example. Some people may think that, okay, I want to develop a habit of running, but at some day you feel that, okay, so the weather is not really right and I'm not going to go out running. So what it will do to your mind is that you're not going to go out. The moment you don't go out, you really lost the ability to showing up. So showing up was really important, because suppose you plan to go to the gym for 5 days, and because of some weather reason, maybe your gym is very nearby to your gym and nearby to your house, but still you didn't go. So you really lost the ability to showing up. You were really making up stories in your mind that the weather is not really right for today, and I have been gymming for like 4 days, why should I go? I can skip one day. But the point is not that. Because you're developing this habit, it's really important for you to show up. So the moment you stop showing up, it is going to be tough for you to in the future to keep performing this habit as well. So there is a nice thing I want to quote from this book. He says that instead of trying to engineer a perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you can optimize. Like you need to, that's the same thing, that you need to establish it first, and then you can improvise it, right? So 2-minute rule, he says that it may look like a trick to our brain, because think about it, you just read this or learn this 2-minute rule from this book, and you are trying to apply this to your life, and you will feel that, okay, I am tricking my brain, saying that, okay, I will be exercising for 2 minutes, I'll be reading for only 2 minutes. That's the funda of like 2 minutes rule. He says that this may look like a brain trick, and chances are you're not going to perform it, right? But he says, okay, do this. You just exercise for 2 minutes and then totally stop. Don't do it more than that. And then, or if you are reading, read it for 2 minutes, then stop. don't read more than that. He says that let's see if you can do that. So he says that this is the power of actually 2 minute rule. The moment you get started, it's really hard for you to like stop. So chances are you are going to perform more than that you actually desired. So that's the rule, that's the 2 minute rule. You just need to get started, and all this thing will start happening automatically. Like you pick up the mobile phone just to check for 2 minutes and it becomes 20 or 2 hours, 20 minutes or 2 hours, right? So here is this thing work. And also there is a great example of a journalist. He's not a journalist, he used to journal actually. He was a leadership consultant, Greg McKeown. What he used to do is he used to journal every day. He says that he developed the journaling habit like this. So the moment he feel like that journaling it is getting overhead, he used to just stop. He used to always write whatever he used to just always just write less. I mean, suppose whenever we journal, that is also my experience. Whenever I started journaling, it really feels intimidating, because there is a reason. I feel I like it the first day, and then the second day or third day it's okay, but after that it becomes a core. It really feels hard that okay, I need to sit down and write something in my diary. But Greg McKeown says that there is a way, is that the way is like you always write less, whatever is in your mind. You just stop the moment it is going good. He says that the best way is to always stop when you are going good, right? So the moment you are like, okay, I'm going to write the awesome thing right now, just stop there. Okay, so that way you develop the habit of showing up next day as well. So here is another thing that like if you want to go to the gym, so there was a guy who used to he wants to develop develop a habit of going to the gym every day, so and do exercise. So what he did is because he couldn't sustain this habit, he says that okay, I will be going to the gym and exercise only for 5 minutes. And he used to go there every day and exercise for 5 minutes and come back to home. But one day suddenly he think, okay, I'm coming to the gym every day and exercising for 5 minutes, and I'm eventually actually coming every day. So let's just do the exercise now. Why should I just go back to home and just sleep? I am actually at the gym, let's just exercise. So after years his weight was gone and he lost his weight. So this is amazing, right? So the thing that how it works is that you actually develop your identity. You are not someone who wants to become a fit person or someone. You are like a person who does not miss his workouts. This is the kind of person you are. So if you are a kind of person who don't miss out, like this kind of person is very you are going to make your habit stick at some point in time. It's because it's really hard for you to stop, right? It's because you are the person who every day just show up, whatever reason it happens. So this is the kind of person you need to be. It really defines your identity as well. And the thing that we have talked about, once you have to establish this habit of showing up, you can combine this with the 2-minute rule. This is called basically habit shaping in this book. So let's just see an example here. So suppose you want to become an early riser. He says that this can be applicable for different person in a different way. He just given an example. So just whenever you are reading self-help books, don't take these examples as like this is the perfect example. You just need to make your own example. So he says that okay, be home by 10 p.m. every night, because if you don't come early to home, how can you go to when you will have your dinner and when you will sleep? So it will eventually you won't be able to wake up at early in the morning, right? So and whatever you do after you come to the home, that's also determines when you are going to sleep, right? He says that have all devices turned off by 10 p.m. So whatever devices you have like TV, mobile phones and everything, you just keep it turned off and in 10 p.m. So then also be in bed by 10 p.m. every night. So So you just need to go to the bed every day at 10 p.m. Then you need to turn off the lights at 10 p.m. every night. Then you just wake up at 6 p.m. every day. So these are the phases of, like, if you want to wake up early in the morning. And also, if you want to start exercise, you just get into your workout clothes, then step out of the door. It's really very important, because see, we are actually not afraid of going to the gym or just do the exercise. We are afraid of just to get out of our home, put out this workout cloth and go to, keep everything ready and then just go to the gym. This is the toughest part actually. The moment you go to the gym, it's not really much effort for you to keep doing this thing. Yeah, right. So then he says that, okay, step out of the door, drive to the gym, exercise for 15 minutes, then exercise 3 times per week. That's how you develop an exercising habit as well. So this is the thing, this is called habit shaping. So you just start with something which takes around only 2 minutes. So this is the 2-minute rule. Right, so you are going to a bigger thing with a smaller pathway, right? So this is just a pathway. It will take you to some amazing heights in the life, right? So this is the chapter 13 and it was fun, right? So now we're going to read the chapter 14, and as I said previously as well, I really like the chapter naming of the Atomic Habits. It says that how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Like this kind of chapter namings, I didn't read a lot of books, but I read for now I have read for 22 to 24 books, and none of them actually given. Not any of the book I have seen chapter names like this, which actually defines what we are going to get in the chapter. I think James Clear has this habit because he used to write blogs a lot before writing this book, and I really like this kind of chapter namings. Here I want to make a confession. You may see that I am on this line. Whatever I read here, I didn't know what I read. Actually, honestly speaking, I keep my hands out of this. I read it, I know, but I forgot totally. So there is this really happens when you get distracted while reading, and this may happen. So it's not like you need to feel guilty about it or anything like that. So I just said it live because this happens with any reader. So I've been reading for quite a long time, like for 6 months, but still I am having this problem. I think this can happen whenever you are thinking something in your mind. So it's very important for you to make to-do list in the morning if you want. Or you can do one more thing, is just have some water, or sip some water. So it's going to work. Here he talk about something called commitment device. Yeah, it sounds really tacky, but it's not really a tech thing. Here is an example of Victor Hugo. He was a writer. So in the 1830, he had a deadline from a publisher that you need to complete this book within this amount of time. So he had a particularly good amount of time to finish writing this book. But he kept procrastinating, and suddenly he says that sees that only 6 months is left. So he was seeing that time is keep passing by. So what he did is he locked away his all of his belongings like clothes and all that, and he kept his only pajamas and everything. So and he locked it in, and he gave it to a assistant or someone. So the moment he had no other thing than just hold a sec. I think I don't have the charge on my laptop. Yep, everything is fine now. So the moment he see that he don't have anything to wear to go out, so he actually was staying home. So the more he stayed home, he write more. So he completed his book before the deadline. So that is called commitment device. We can do something like that as well. He says that if you want to like start a yoga session or a yoga practice, you just contact a teacher and pay him upwards. So it's really it is going to be very hard for you to not attend the class, or it is going to be really it is going to be like you're going to lose the money eventually. So it is going to be tough for you to not do it. Suppose you want to start a business, you start sending emails to entrepreneurs and start scheduling calls. So if you suddenly you feel like I don't want to do it, so it's going to be very hard and expensive for you to cancel all these calls. So yeah, this is how you make a commitment device. You make something you make something that is really going to help you to stick good habits and remove the bad habits entirely, because that's how the commitment device work. He talk about this commitment device in the future, in the upcoming lessons as well. So let's go ahead and read. So here is a great story about the John Henry Peterson, who used to live in the Ohio. It's in the time of like 1800s. There was a time where employee theft was really common thing, because they used to the money was really in the open form, so they can steal whatever money they want. So it's not really was feasible for anyone to track the money, that how much money is going in and going out. So, and also there was it was really impossible for to lock that money up. So after that, there was a technology, you can say so that time invented, was uh, like RT. So they invented a machine who actually, the moment you put the money in it, it locks the money in that machine, and it really takes an input from the owner to get this money out. So the moment what he did, Dayton, actually John Henry Peterson, he purchased two of them and put it into the business, and he see that he was earning $5,000 in the profit in that time, which is almost like $100,000 today, right? So that much profit he was earning when their company was in loss because of the employee theft. So there is a nice thing I want to quote from this book. It says that the best way to break a bad habit is to make it impractical to do. Increase the friction until you don't have the option to act. So he says that improve the friction so much then it is really impractical to do the bad habit. Suppose you want to stop something that is really bad, you just make it impractical to do it. So right, so suppose you have the habit to like checking your phone or checking social media at every night, so it really hampers your sleep and the productivity. So what you can do is, this is not an example from this book, I'm saying that you can just give it to your relative who sleep early and who is a little bit of older than you, and so it's really going to be hard for you to just go there and disturb them from the sleep and take your phone from them. So I think this really works, and this is also a commitment device, right? So he says that this is the kind of one time action that actually leads to great results. So like here is an example. So if you for the nutrition, he gives an example like buy a water filter to clean your drinking water, and use smaller plates to reduce the calorie intake, because the smaller the plate, the chances at the end you are going to take less calorie. It's obvious, because you are going to see that okay, my plate is full. So the bigger the plate you use, the higher the calorie you are actually consuming. So that's a simple thing, right? And happiness, you get a dog and move to a friendly social neighborhood. And then general health, like take vaccination. And also in terms of productivity, you can set your phone to silent, use your filters to clean up your inbox. And these are the things that is one time decision, but they make a huge impact on your productivity and your life. So this is how this thing work, and this is also a commitment device sort of. Okay. So uh, technology is really automating our life. This is suppose we were watching our YouTube videos or Netflix. There is something called the autoplay. So we don't have much friction to see what's next. We just need to keep our eyes open to see what is coming next. So we don't need to click anywhere, we just don't need to go anywhere. The content is keep playing based on what we like. So the next content is only tailored for you, right? So there is no friction, and you are going to really like whatever you are seeing, right? So let me just check whatever you like, right? So here is the thing. So this is that it is really can work on your advantage and disadvantages as well. So the disadvantage is like it is really automatic, and you have really don't have much control in your life in this way. So technology can work or against as you. So but here is the thing, you can use this automation or technology in your advantage as well. So the James Clear, he actually wanted to reduce his consumption of the social media. So what he did is he gave all the passwords to his assistant, and in every Friday night, what she used to do is she used to reset all the password of all the social media of James Clear. So whenever he in the weekends, whenever he take out his phone and wanted to check something, he saw that okay, he's automatically logged out and he needs the new password to get into these apps, right? So he over the time he saw that there was not much craving to actually check the social media. That was nothing that extraordinary doing. The social media was not doing much for him just in the weekend, right? So he says that we can use this kind of commitment device, and also we can make this automation using the technology to do this. So suppose you want to block, so suppose a specific website is really distracting for you, you can use a website blocker in your browser. And like I use the Android, what it's called, I forgot. And maybe that there's a kind of like an app which basically blocks the app for a certain period of time. So suppose I'm using Instagram for more than 30 minutes every day, it automatically blocks the Instagram, because honestly speaking, I don't really need to use Instagram more than 30 minutes, because I use Instagram only for some little bit of interacting with people, and yeah, only that, and sometime I post actually. So I don't need. And if you haven't subscribed to the Impulse Books channel on the YouTube, you should go ahead and do that. And we are on the Instagram as well, so you maybe see the social handles on the top above here. So yeah, so if you want to stop using your consumption at something, you can automate this using your technology as well. This can work against or for you. That's up to you, that how you want to do it. So these are all the things till now we read. So we read about like making it obvious, making it attractive, making it easy. Then these are the three things that we read to make a good habit. And to let's see, to make something easy, we need to reduce the friction, we need to prime the environment for the future action to get easier. That's the example that we see yesterday, that you prepare your environment for the next action, not something that you did for that you are not doing. So suppose you are not making your bed for because you sleep on that, you make your bed because you are going to come next and sleep on this bed again. So that's the thing, that's why you make your bed. So this is just an example, and you can use a 2-minute rule to downscale any tough habit that is really tough for you to perform. And also that you can use technology to automate some habits as well. So there are to break a bad habit, you can make it invisible, that we already know. That we can make it unattractive, and we can make it difficult. Like we can increase the friction, so it is really hard for us to perform such habit. And we can use this commitment device that we talk about. The writer also packed his clothes, so he is unable to go out, so he make content much more, and then eventually he write his book. So that's how the make it difficult thing works. Yeah. Okay, I turned off the flashlight. I hope everything is visible correctly. This is the last chapter that I'm going to read today. That is the cardinal rule of behavior change. Yeah, this is a little bit of different in terms of chapter. I didn't know what I'm going to get. Okay, let's go ahead and read them. Well, that's a really nice story. So it is about this Stephen Levy. He was a health worker. He used to live in the hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. So he actually went to the Karachi, Pakistan, because in that time, in the late 1990s, Karachi, Pakistan was the uh, like an epicenter of the country, because it has some good facilities there, so people used to like to stay there. So what and the disadvantage was like, because a lot of people were staying there, it was really hard for them to like keep the hygiene in check, because a lot of the population of that specific area was uh, keep increasing. So the lot of diseases used to be there, and most of the health diseases were really related to the hygiene actually. So a child were used to get a lot of diseases, even the elders as well. So what Labi actually realized, that people are not really conscious about their hygiene, they are not washing their hands properly. So he also saw that people really knew that they need to wash their hands, they need to keep their hygiene in check, they need to wash their hands every time they do something. But people were not doing it, because washing hands was not really satisfying. So what he did was amazing. So he partnered with this a soap company called Safeguard. So Safeguard was a premium soap in there. So he partnered with the soap Safeguard. He made a soap and he gave this soap to everyone. So because that was a premium soap, and it was used to leather very easily, and the smell was really fabulous. So what was very tough thing to do, like like washing your hand, it was a satisfying thing for them. So that's the first rule, that's the last rule of the habit. If you want to make a habit stick, then you need to make it satisfying, that you like the reward that you are getting, right? So, and also there is a chewing gum company called Ringley, that is a very popular company in the US, I guess. So what they previously, the chewing gum was like only the rubber that you see, you are chewing it without any taste. But Ringley really revolutionized the idea of chewing gum. They invented flavors like spearmint, and the juicy flavory, that fruit gel gum, and all this kind of stuff. So it was really tough for people to really not chew the gum, because it was really satisfying and it was tasty in the mouth. So the reward was really satisfying. That's why their sale also increases, and they become the number one company, a chewing gum company, right? And also they associated this behavior with a fresh mouth. So the more you chew the gum, your mouth is much more fresh. So you associate your chewing gum also with a taste and also a fresh mouth. So this is really habit forming. This is the reward is really satisfying, so people keep doing it, right? So, and here is a very I read it. Okay, so here is the thing: what is rewarded is repeated, what is punished is avoided, right? So if your reward is right, then you are going to repeat it. If you like the reward, it is a 100% chance that your brain is going to be wired like that, you are going to repeat this thing. And if you don't like something, you are not going to repeat it, right? So the first three laws of behavior change was: make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy. Increase the odds that a behavior will be performed this time. The fourth law of behavior, making it satisfying, increase the odds that a behavior will be repeated next time. So make it satisfying. You may think that, okay, I can make a habit obvious, attractive, and easy, that will only do the work. No, it's not. If you don't like the reward, because making it obvious, attractive, and easy will help you to perform the habit. But if you don't like the reward of that habit, you are not going to repeat the habit, right? So if you don't repeat something, it is not really a habit itself, right? So you need to make it satisfying. So make it satisfying is all about you like the reward, whatever you are doing, you like it at the end, whatever you are getting out of it, you like the reward. Suppose you do exercising, you like whatever the after effects, right? So if you don't enjoy this, if you don't like it, you're not going to do it. So you need, or you can create rewards for you to keep doing something that you want to do, right? So here James Clear discuss about two things, that is immediate and delayed rewards. So in the ancient time, in our ancestor were really used to find the immediate rewards, because it was just it was their job was to only survive. So they were really conscious about the just the immediate future, that okay, I'm alive right now. So that was our ancestor jobs, because there was constant life threat, and they need to keep finding foods to keep to stay alive. So that was the time, because there was a time people really used to get instant, that is immediate reward, right? So if you're alive now, then it is a reward for you, right? If you get the food, that is an immediate reward if you just eat it, right? So that was the ancestors time. But now the technology and the world has improved a lot. If you compare it, we may call it the world is going down actually, but it is improving a lot if you just compare it. So and he says a very nice thing, that the brain patterns and everything, the neurocortex in our brain is the same that was there in like 20,000 years ago, 2000 years ago. So he says that okay, we are actually walking around with the same hardware even in this generation as well. So our hardware is still same, the hardware is actually our ancestors used to have. So there is no change in this hardware. So even after a lot of these years, so he says that we are also actually focused on the immediate rewards, that if we do this, we are not getting any immediate rewards. We think that okay, this is not good, this is not helping, right? So he says that okay, we all know that smoking might kill you and give you the lung cancer in the long term, but we still do it because we like the pleasure right now that we are getting. And also that eating more will actually increase your weight and there will be obesity, but we still do it because it gives you this immediate pleasure of that's the same thing that we discussed today, like the salt and sugar. As a human being, we are someone who conserve energy. Salt and sugar was the only thing which gives you a lot of calorie, and so the chips and all this company make this kind of things really they provide these nice packed value of fat, sugar and the salt. So people really crave for that because our hardware is the old hardware that we are carrying around. So our ancestor used to really conserve this kind of thing like the salt and sugar, and we also still nowadays we also crave for this kind of thing because our hardware is not really upgraded, right? So this is the kind of thing that he talked about. So we are actually concerned about the immediate reward. We don't care what it is, how it is going to help in the future. So we know that it is going to help, but we don't care, right? We don't like to see this. That's the thing. So here is a nice thing that from a French economist, I want to quote it. It says that it almost always happens that when the immediate consequence is favorable, the later consequences are disastrous, and vice versa. Often the sweeter the first fruit of a habit, the more bitter are its later fruits. So if you're doing something and if you're getting immediate pleasure something out of it, so it will give you bad result in the future. So chances are like this. So if you are getting suppose you are going to the gym for the first time for 30 days, it will give you a lot of pain, sweat, and it feels like you will feel like okay, why I'm doing this. So these are the things that is really giving you this tough time, but this is going to be really helpful for you in the long term in terms of fitness, in terms of looks and everything. So this is he wants to say that often the sweeter the first fruit of a habit, the more bitter are its later fruits, and it's also vice versa, right? Great. So he says that put it another way is the cost of your good habits are in the present, the cost of your bad habits are in the future. So if you're doing something bad, the cost is not going to see you immediately. Suppose your spending habit is really bad, immediately you see something in the internet, you just purchase it. You're not going to get poor just by purchasing this thing. But if you continuously do this thing, your habits it will take you to a bad thing. Suppose you like to really like to binge on Netflix and eat junk foods. So eating one day will not eating one day or 2 day will not cost your body or mind anything, but if you keep doing it over time, this is going to be harmful for you. And this is the same thing he says, that the cost of your bad habits are in the future, the cost of your good habits are in the present. So if you're doing something, you're not going to immediately see any result, right? So if you're reading a book for like one day, you're not going to be Elon Musk, right? You need to constantly do it. The rewards are in the very future. So people, but as a human, we like the immediate rewards, so we need to really consciously understand what we are doing, right? So that's the thing. So this is our brain tendency. Okay, to solve this problem, here is a nice exercise which is written in only one line, and it's fabulous. Let me just quote it from you. As a general rule, the more immediate pleasure you get from an action, the more strongly you should question whether it aligns with your long-term goals. So suppose you are doing something and you are getting immediate pleasure out of it, so the more the pleasure, the more should be there the question that whether it is aligned with your goal or not. So suppose you are doing something and you are getting immediate pleasure out of it, so you need to check that whether whatever you are doing is really resonate with your long-term goal or not, because chances are if you are getting immediate result from something, this is not actually working. So he says that you need to check this, you need to keep this in check, that everything is working correctly or not. Yeah, that's a really good exercise to do. What is immediately rewarded is repeated, what is immediately punished is avoided. That's the cardinal rule of behavior change. So if you get any immediate reward, you are going to obviously repeat it. If you don't get it, yeah, you are going to avoid, right? Okay, we all know that doing a specific task will give us that much of reward in the long term, but we don't eventually do it because we know that suppose maybe exercising is going to be really helpful for us even in the future to keep ourselves healthy, but we don't really do it. The reason is because we don't get any immediate rewards of doing this. So there is a technique as well. It is going to be said in the later chapter, but you can get an idea. He says that add a little bit of immediate pleasure to the habits that pay off in the long run. So those habits which results are going to be seen in the later in the life, to keep doing this kind of habit, you just add an immediate pleasure whenever you perform this habit, right? And if you want to stop doing some habit, you just had an immediate pain the moment you do it, right? So this is how you can stop a bad habit and repeat a bad habit, not repeat a bad habit and repeat a good habit, right? So that's how you do it. So this is let's just read that how we can actually do it. Yeah. what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. To gratify ourselves instantly, that is to give ourselves immediate rewards, there is something called the immediate reinforcement. So it basically likes there is some good example. So suppose you spend a lot on shopping apps, right? So what you can do is so suppose you see something that you really want to buy, really want to purchase, but if I say that okay, don't stop, don't buy this, resist your temptation. So resisting temptation is not really a nice thing to do. The reward is not really nice because you are resisting your temptation, but still in your head you want to buy this specific thing that you wanted to buy, right? So this is really not rewarding. So chances are that this habit is not going to stick, right? Then the moment you see something next in the shopping app, you are going to purchase it because you are really stressed because you could not purchase that one, right? So he says that you make something called instant reinforcement, which is like he says that okay, let's just do one thing, create a bank account and label it like for the leather jacket, and every time you think about buying something and you don't buy it, you resist your temptation, you just put that amount and transfer that amount to that bank account. You will see that every time you have a urge of buying something, you are actually saving money. So that bank account is having money for something that you really wanted to purchase, which is expensive, right? Suppose you wanted to buy a little pair of socks, designer socks that you liked but it's not really necessary for you, but you also wanted to buy that leather jacket, which is really expensive, really expensive. So you just create a bank account labeled with the leather jacket, and you, every time you have this urge of buying this kind of small things, you just take that money and put it onto this leather jacket account. So the moment you have a craving of buying something, and what you do is you stop there, you just resist your temptation. So the moment you resist your temptation, you get a reward of just getting more money for your leather jacket, right? So this is not the reward is really tempting, because the more you have the craving, the more you are going to the goal of buying that leather jacket that you want to buy, right? So your bank balance is actually increasing. So this is the kind of thing. And also there is so here is the James Clear example as well. So he and his wife used to go a lot out. So they used to go out a lot and they used to eat food, outside food a lot. So what they did is to reduce this consumption. But think about it, you may stop going altogether to the restaurants and everything, but what you will call yourself, you will see that you see your life as a boring, that okay, I am not going out or anything like that. This is not really rewarding. But what they did is they made an account called Trip to Europe. So every time they skip that specific meal or specific going out and eat food at the home, what they did is they saved that money to that specific bank account. Whatever they used to spend on this, suppose $50 or $100 in the restaurant, they save that money for that specific trip to Europe. So every time they used to have the craving of eating out, they are having more money for their trip to Europe. So this is really rewarding for them, and this is the kind of system that is called the immediate reinforcement. So immediate reinforcement, I am just quoting it from the book, immediate reinforcement helps maintain motivation in the short term while you are waiting for the long-term rewards to arrive. So for James Clear, that long-term reward is like taking a trip to the Europe, but the short-term motivation for so the long-term reward is like for them is not eating out. It is very healthy for healthy to eat homely meals. So the long-term benefits is on their health, but the immediate reward is like they are saving money, their money is getting saved for their trip to Europe. So that is the thing that you can do, that is called the immediate reinforcement, where you are basically giving yourself small rewards to do something which will be really helpful in the long term, right? So this is called the reinforcement. yeah, that's really helpful for you to keep going. And yep, so at least we are done for today. So the three things that I want to share every time, so let's go ahead and share this. So the first thing that I want to share is the 2 minute rule that I really like. 2 minute rule is all about just make a smaller version of any habit that you want to do, that can be done in 2 minutes, and just stop doing that habit after 2 minutes. So James Clear said that it's very hard for you to stop after 2 minutes, so you're going to eventually keep going on. So that's how you should design your habit. Even in the bad days when you can't perform that, you perform the habit, you can show up and do it for 2 minutes. That's not going to be a hard task for you, right? So this is the 2 minute rule. I quite like this. And here is another thing, is this called the automation. We can use the technology to automate our life. This can be technology also automatically do something for us, but we can use technology in our advantages. Suppose we want to stop watching more YouTube videos, we can block YouTube using some Chrome extension or anything like that. You can Google it, you will get this kind of thing. But you can use the technology to your advantage as well to automate something from your life. You can remove the friction. Suppose let me give an example. Suppose there is an yoga instructor whom you want to go and do yoga. So next month you may think that okay, I'm not going to do this. So what you do is that you set up a automatic payment to that yoga instructor's account. So the moment of this month, the payment is automatically done, and chances are you are going to go there. So this is the kind of thing that you can automate. So it is going to be expensive for you to not to do any kind of reward, and it is not really rewarding for you as well. So you are going to eventually do it. So and the another thing is that we as a human being like immediate rewards. So it's really important for us to give ourselves, and don't think of it like that okay, it is bad that we seek the immediate reward. It's not really bad. As a human being, we have the same hardware. As you said, we still like to keep our energy saved. We still like salt and sugar. That's why chips companies works. So that's how we are actually built. But he says that we need to give ourselves some immediate rewards to us, which is called the immediate reinforcement, to keep doing something that is going to be helpful in the long term as well. So that is all for today, and I hope you liked today's reading session and all the social links that is there on here, as you can see. So you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere. I will be posting a little bit of snippet everywhere. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow.